You are not and will never be your father, Alex. This company needs a leader, not a grieving little girl playing dress-up. The board agrees. My office. Now, get out. My Uncle Frank's voice was like ice. He stood behind my father's massive oak desk, his posture screaming ownership. The board members' men, who had known me since I was a child, suddenly found the intricate Persian rug on the floor utterly fascinating. Not one of them could look me in the eye. My hands trembled. I clenched them into fists, nails digging deep into my palms. The sharp sting of pain was the only thing keeping the hot, furious tears from spilling over. That is my father's desk, Frank. This is his company. He built Stoneworth Manufacturing from a tool shed and a $2,000 loan. He wanted me to run it. You know he did. Frank let out a short, mocking laugh. He wanted a man at the helm, a strong hand, not sentiment, not a project. The vote was unanimous. I am the new CEO, effective immediately. Now, for the last time, get out of my office before I have security remove you. It would be so undignified. Hi, I'm Alexandra Stone, though most people just call me Alex. I'm going to tell you the story of how my own uncle tried to steal my father's legacy before the dirt had even settled on his grave, and how a secret, hidden in plain sight, shattered his disgusting power grab into a million pieces. My dad, Arthur Stone, was my absolute hero. He started Stoneworth Manufacturing in our backyard shed when I was just 3 years old. I still remember the smell of cut metal and engine grease clinging to his flannel shirts when he'd come inside, tired but with a fire in his eyes. While other kids were outside playing tag, I was his shadow. I'd hand him wrenches, fascinated by the blueprints he sketched. He never once told me that world wasn't for me. Instead, he'd lift me up on his shoulders and say, "Look at that, kiddo. That's perfection. That's our name." Never settle for less. Every summer, I worked in the factory. I started on the assembly line, then moved to shipping, then accounting, then sales. I didn't just learn the business, I learned the people. My dad always said that was the most important part. He paid for my MBA. He said, "You're going to take this place into the future. Alex, you've got the mind for the numbers and the heart for the people. That's a combination you can't teach." And then there was Frank. Frank was Dad's younger brother by 8 years. Where my father was grit and integrity, Frank was smooth and shallow. Dad gave him a vice president title, mostly as a joke. Frank's workday started at 10 in the morning and consisted mostly of long, expensive lunches. He loved to make little digs at me. "Another big report, Alex. Shouldn't you be out shopping? Let the men handle the spreadsheets. Or Arthur works you too hard. It's not feminine. You'll scare off any decent husband talking about steel tariffs." I brushed it off. My dad's faith in me was my armor. Then came the phone call, the one that splits your life in two. It was a Tuesday. My mom's voice was broken. "Alex, it's your dad at the office. A heart attack. The ambulance." "He's gone, baby. He's gone." The world stopped. The grief was suffocating. The funeral was a blur. The only thing that kept me breathing was the company. Stoneworth was the last piece of him. At the reading of the will in Mr. Henderson's office, our family lawyer, everything seemed straightforward. The house, the investments, all to my mom and me. Then came the company. Mr. Henderson adjusted his glasses. And regarding Stoneworth Manufacturing, Arthur's shares and controlling interest are to be passed to his living direct descendants and to his brother, Franklin Stone, to be held and managed jointly. Jointly. The word hit me like a punch. Frank smirked and patted my knee. "See, Alex? He wanted us to do this together. Don't worry, Uncle Frank will take care of everything. You can be my special assistant. Learn the ropes." The very next day, Frank moved into Dad's office. He boxed up Dad's photos, replaced his chair with some luxury leather monstrosity. The first board meeting was a bloodbath. I had a transition. Planned to reassure clients, I stood to present. Frank cut me off. "Alex, this is all very cute but naive. We need strength, not sentiment. My brother's passion was admirable. But now it's time for cold, hard business." His plan was, A butcher's list, / employee benefits, cut research and development, sell divisions for quick profit. I argued, showed him the numbers. He smirked. The adults are talking. Why don't you go fetch us more coffee? Make it the imported blend. It's 2 weeks later, the final straw. He canceled my access to the R&D lab, the lab I had designed, one named after my father. I stormed into his office. What is this, Frank? You locked me out of the Arthur Stone lab. He didn't look up from his computer game. It's a sensitive area. We can't have people wandering in. Not people. I'm head of product development. Not anymore, he said calmly. I'm restructuring. Your position is absorbed. Consider this your notice. Clean out your desk. Leave the key card. I was being fired from my own company that night. I wandered through my dad's study. Still smelled like him. Old books, lemon polish, peppermint gum. Sobbing, I pulled a photo album from the shelf. As I turned the pages, a small yellowed paper peeked out. I pulled it free. It was my father's handwriting. My dearest Alex, if you're reading this, then I'm gone. And Frank has shown his true colors. I've always feared his jealousy. The will everyone knows is a decoy. A second final will is with Henderson in a secure vault. The code to access the documentation is your birthday, 051992. Don't you dare. Let him take your company. Fight my girl. Make me prouder than I already am. All my love, always, Dad. May 1st, 1992. My birthday. I wasn't crying anymore. A cold steel resolve settled over me. At 7 a.m, I was waiting at Mr. Henderson's car. Alex, what on earth? The code is 051992. I need to see my father's real will. His face paled. Oh, Arthur, you knew. He sighed. Come inside. He unlocked the vault, retrieved a long envelope sealed with my father's signet wax. Call an emergency board meeting, I told him. Today, 11 a.m. Don't tell Frank why. The boardroom was tense. Frank sat at the head of the table, bragging about a golf club. This is irregular, Alex. I have a company to run. No time for tantrums. This isn't a tantrum, I said, placing the sealed envelope before him. This is a coup. And you're finished. He laughed. What is this? A love letter. A note begging for your job back? This is the last will and testament of Arthur James Stone, dated September 12, 2022. 6 months after the one, Henderson. Mr. Henderson nodded. It's authentic, legally binding. It revokes all previous wills. Frank's face drained of color. This is absurd. Forgery. My brother would never trust you, I cut in. He never did. Frank tore it open. His voice shook as he read. Every single share, every asset, every ounce of control went solely to me. Alexandra Marie Stone, CEO, President, Chair of the Board. Frank was erased. The silence was crushing. You poisoned him. Frank screamed, you manipulative little witch. I'll bury you in lawsuits. I stood tall. Franklin Stone, you are removed, effective immediately. You are no longer an employee, director, or shareholder. Security escort Mr. Stone from the building. The fallout was immense. Frank tried lawyers, threats, smear campaigns, but the will was ironclad. Then the auditors uncovered what he'd been hiding: years of embezzlement, falsified expenses, stolen funds. Over $2.5 million. I had a choice. Call the police and send him to prison for 20 years. Or do what my father would have done. I served him the audit results at his home, offered him 2 choices: sign a confession, liquidate every asset, repay every penny with interest, and resign all claims to the company forever. In return, no criminal charges, or fight me and be ruined publicly, financially, and legally. He signed. He sold his mansion, his luxury cars, even his prized golf clubs. Paid back every cent. His wife left him. Last I heard, he was in a small apartment alone. Karma has a way of balancing the books. As for me, I run Stoneworth now. We landed the Northridge account and 3 more, even bigger. My dad was right. I did have the head and the heart for this, and every day, sit at his desk, my desk, and make him proud. So I have to ask you, someone you trusted, someone who was supposed to be family, tried to take everything from you when you were most vulnerable? Would you show them mercy, or would you show them the door?